humans like to think of the heavens as stable, serene, unchanging. But comets suddenly appear and hang ominously in the sky night after night for weeks. So the idea developed that the comet had to be there for a reason. And the reason was that comets were kind of predictions of disaster, that they foretold the deaths of princes and the fall of kingdoms. In 1066, for example, the Normans witnessed an apparition or appearance of Halley's comet. Since a comet must, they thought, predict the fall of some kingdom, they promptly went ahead and invaded England. Here's King Harold of England looking a little glum. The events were noted in the Bayeux Tapestry, a kind of newspaper of the day. Or, in the early 13th century, Giotto, one of the founders of modern realistic painting, witnessed another apparition of Comet Halley and inserted it into a nativity he was painting, a harbinger of a different sort of change of kingdoms. Around 1517, another great comet appeared. This time was seen in Mexico, and the Aztec emperor Moctezuma, maybe this is he, promptly executed his astrologers. Why? Well, they hadn't predicted the comet, and they sure hadn't explained it. Moctezuma was positive that the comet foretold some dreadful disaster. He became distant and gloomy, and in that way helped to set the stage for the successful Spanish conquest of Mexico under Cortez. In many cases, a superstitious belief in comets becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Here are two quite different representations of the great comet of 1577. This one pictured by the Turks, and this one by the Germans. In 1705, Edmund Halley finally figured out that the same spectacular comet was booming by the Earth every 76 years like clockwork. That comet is now called, appropriately, Comet Halley, and it's the same one that we talked about a moment ago, the comet of 1066. At that point, the subject began to lose a little of its burden of superstition, but hardly all. Public fear of comets survived, and, well, for example, look at this terribly nasty comet of 1857 that some people figured would splinter the Earth. By 1910, Halley's comet returned once more, but this time astronomers using a new tool, the spectroscope, had discovered cyanogen gas in the tail of a comet. Now, cyanogen is a poison. The Earth was to pass through this poisonous tail. The fact that the gas was astonishingly, fabulously thin reassured almost nobody. So, for example, take a look at the headlines in the Los Angeles Examiner for May 9th, 1910. Say, has that comet cyanogened you yet? Entire human race due for free gaseous bath. Expect hijinks. Or take this from the San Francisco Chronicle, May 15th, 1910. Comet comes and husband reforms. Comet parties now fad in New York. Amazing stuff. In 1910, people were holding comet parties, not so much to celebrate the end of the world as to make merry before it happened. There were entrepreneurs who were hawking comet pills. I think I'm going to take one for later. And there were those who were selling gas masks to protect against the cyanogen. And comet nuttiness didn't stop in 1910.